Hey, this is Chan from Different Skill, bringing you guys something different. A very, actually, well thought out video that I took notes on at work. Now, normally I just spit shit out of my ass because I know stuff. But now I actually wrote it down because I was actually really bored at work. So, this video will be about decks, so like current meta or whatnot. Someone asked me, can I do a video talking about all the decks and whatnot? So, yeah, so I'm just gonna... So basically, this is kind of like a tier list-ish kind of thing. Basically, I will be going through all 20 clans and telling the pros and cons, what's different about them. I'm not gonna say, like, they have a Counterblast 2 draw 1 card, because everyone has those. I'm going to be saying what they have, like, that are unique to their own clan and whatnot. So, first of all, these are not, like, I'm not going to say, okay, just because I said so, you guys all have to follow this. But this is basically my opinion and what we have come up with as a, kind of tier listy thing. So, first off, we have, let's see, first we're going to start low. And every single deck, I will give a rating and whatnot. So first deck is going to be TouchKaze. Now TouchKaze, the cuddly dinosaur deck. Now what they have in this deck is almost non-existent advantage engines. So they cannot build advantage in any way in this deck. The only way you can consider a card that gives you advantage is Dragon Egg, which moves back and it's a 4,000. So it's really actually very, very sad how little advantage you can get with this deck. Now, basically, you need to rely heavily on triggers to actually win. Now, you have your Vanguard at this point is pretty subpar. He has a limit break ability that has a downside. So, yeah, basically plus 5k, the same as limit breaks, but it has a downside. Now, these were introduced a lot earlier, so yeah, they shouldn't be as good as limit breaks. Granted that limit breaks right now aren't actually any good, because limit breaks are just basically nerfed versions of Counterblast. So, anywho, TouchKaze, weak attacks on the side, decent attack in the middle, but has a downside. No advantage engines, and they say TouchKaze is getting new support. Now, of course, a lot of people are going to be like, oh my god, I'm going to shit bricks and invest a ton on this in case it gets good, and then it doesn't because they give you a stand trigger, and then that was your support. So, until further support is announced, TouchKaze, I'll have to give him a 3 out of 10 as a deck. So now the second clan, although I said I would start low and move up, this isn't actually very, I can't say anything about GreatNature yet, because it's only been started. Like, there hasn't been any actual, like, full deck list reviews of what you can do. Now, basically, they have a unique mechanic where you give your own card steroids, basically, and they kill themselves after. So, it sounds kind of like steroids. So, there's not enough revealed to give it a rating. So, basically, I'll say what strengths they have. So, they hit hard. They can replace themselves. So, basically, they have a form of tutoring. And then, there's not a lot of raw advantage engines, like Alfred or whatnot, so I have a lot of break evens though, which is good, and it's not enough revealed yet. So yeah, GreatNature, I'm going to guess it's going to be around tier 2, so it's not going to be like the best deck ever. I'm going to give it, I don't know, I give it a question mark out of 5, so I guess I'll give it I don't know, 6 to 7 out of 10. On playability, because for now, as like if the trend continues, they're not going to get much, so I don't know. Okay, so that was the 2 lower tier decks. Now I'm gonna put out a few other decks. Well, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be up in there. Okay, so first we're gonna talk about Angel Feather. Now, of course, everyone's like, oh my god, Angel Feather is so broken, healing mechanics, imba. Now I'm gonna break it the news. One of the main strengths of the deck, the cards look great. I mean, Kyriel's so good. Like, the artwork is very nice. And overall, Angel Feather, it's a decent limit break. It's basically 5k and a revival, kind of, from your damage zone. Now, it doesn't heal you, so it's not really healing And one problem is you have pretty shitty rear guards for most often. If you want to actually play it like uniquely, so you get the unique damage engines that you can have fun with, but in exchange your deck kind of sucks. So it has very situational 20k sides. So like you need to take a damage, or you do what everyone else does, go 12k, 8k. But so that's really situational though. They have a weak Persona Blast. I mean, hit, Counter Blast 2, heal 1. Now that's pretty bad, especially because it has to hit the Vanguard. Now if it hit a rear guard and could do that, that'd be okay. Then the limit break should be decent. You could like threaten them, like, fuck you, I want to heal, attack a rear guard. So yeah, overall, Angel Feather 5 out of 10. Not the best deck. The deck has one advantage in it, which is Kagerou. You play it on turn 3, that's all the advantage you'll ever get. Next off, we have the Granblues. Now, time to scroll. Okay, so they have a very cool revival mechanic, which allows them to switch their cards. It doesn't actually give you any bonuses. Now, their limit break is kind of weak, so, like, this guy, his limit break's pretty subpar. In fact, I think it's subpar compared to, like, all of them. I think Kiriel's a bit better, because a lot of things your damage might actually be useful, while in this you have to like basically mill and prepare for it. So I don't. It's it's okay. Basically, you can say look for the top 10 cards and play it because you have Night Kid, but that makes it Counterblast 3 instead. So got to think about those. Now, one of the redeeming factors actually, they can really use the 2 soul ones. So basically, they take 2 soul out, draw cards. Those guys, they use them very well because you use it and then you replace them. They're not actually a nuisance. They have pretty good consistency on the sides because of the revival mechanics. Decent attack power throughout the game. Not anything crazy like Paladins, but definitely can hit like decent and very good. So like 25 and then like 18, which is pretty good. So yeah, Granblue. 6 out of 10. Now we have MegaE. So they have a unique unstand mechanic. So you basically get to hold 2 cards down, usually 1 maybe. It has a bit of a weak limit break. It's 11k limit break, so that's actually kind of unique. But the limit break costs 3, and Girafa here, he only costs 2. But I actually forgot what his. I think it's the same effect, except I'm not sure when it triggers, because I don't play this deck. Now, one of the downsides is your cards are kind of ugly, but a good side is you have a really hot butterfly girl, so look forward to that. And aside from that, they have a decent amount of advantage engines, like say Machining Stag Beetle. It's a +2 when you play it. Now, that's pretty good, and it's free. It also gives you retarded power, which is also a plus. And actually having things not stand right, if they don't boost with something and attack you, that's kind of a way to get advantage, but it's not raw advantage that I would, because then if I say something like that, okay, if you have a 20k attack or you attack, you got an advantage, you have around like, I don't know, 10 plus 1, I'm going to say raw advantage, or very obvious advantage. So these guys, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. That's actually a bit high. Next is Dimensional Police. Now this clan is very, very cool because it has the unique Tomodachi concept, where your Tomodachis, which is basically your friends, but like your rear guards, will power up your Vanguard and your Vanguard will swing. Now this deck has the unique ability of having +1 crit on a Vanguard. That's actually useful. And you can also use stand triggers very well in this deck because of things like Miracle Beauty, or, in general, like, it's the only deck that you ever play stand triggers in, because stand triggers suck. So, yeah, definitely on the sides, very useful, and pretty cool deck. 7 out of 10. Maybe 7.5. It's a bit better than Mega Colony, so I can't put it down there. So, 7 out of 5, or 7.5 out of 5. Or 10, yes, 7.5 out of 10. I'm kind of tired, just got off work. It's 2 a.m. by the way. So next one we have Morocco Mu, which is a pretty unique clan. So, 1 of plus ninjas. They're ninjas. Okay. And cards like Void Yoga and whatchamaface, stealth rats. They have a very unique ninjutsu mechanic, which I like to call it, where they appear and disappear. This gives you a lot of easy sneak damage, so you go like you attack early, but I don't have to invest on it. I basically have full field of attackers while only committing 2 cards to it, and even less, because your Gilgas actually return, or your stealth rat will return, saving it for later. So now you get a lot of easy attacks early on, so definitely an easy way to get advantage, or like just to sneak in attacks. The downside is that the attacks are generally very weak. They're pretty bad against 11Ks. They have a very limited amount of raw advantage, like blatant +1s. So their advantage, like +1s, will basically come from their ability to look at the top 5 from Mandala Lord. Now, speaking of Mandala Lord, the stack can turtle very hard, given that all of your Mandala Lords become 10k shields. And then, your Ferret shuffles back, so you get another 10k shield there. That's bonus 50,000 shield that you can possibly get. So, pretty good deck. I'm going to have to put it under Dimensional Place, giving it a 7 out of 10. But it's definitely not a bad deck, especially for how much it costs. So, what the hell are you doing here? I got a second one. Okay, so next one, Pale Moon. Very unique deck. Has the ability to soul swap, so you run into soul, run out. You get consistently good attacks, like on the sides, and you have an average amount of raw advantage. So like you play a card, draw a card, or play a card, search for a card, play a card, a superior, call a card, something like that. It's a bit hard to understand. You gotta really like play it a little to like do things properly. Purple Trapezist, very good card, allows you to make good plays. Now, without Purple Trapezist, this deck kind of sucks. So, so basically this deck has a bunch of attacks. Like, each attack, if you let it through, it will be very punishing. Like, they'll attack you over and over again. So the rear guards are actually very threatening, so which is a good thing. So this deck, gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Pretty fun deck. Next is Dark Irregulars, one of my favorites, but I'm not going to be biased about it. Now, Dark Irregulars, you have some pretty strong Vanguards. And see Amon here, right? 30-something K, easy 9K booster, little Amon, as I like to call him. So, you like to soul charge, eat a lot of stuff. One of the cooler mechanics of this is that you get to Mega Blast very easily, because 8 soul is easy in these decks. So, you can, like, easily use Still Vampire or No Life King. Now, No Life King isn't really a Mega Blast, but his conditions are basically the same. 5 and flip damage. Now, those cards are very unique to Dark Irregulars, because not a lot of decks can actually attain Mega Blast, nor have a cool one like Still Vampire. They have a decent trigger lineup right now, so right now, if they don't give us any more crits, it's going to be 8 draw, 4 crit, which actually is very good for Amon, so you can eat it. You don't have much rear guards very often. Like if you have one side of rear guards, that's actually really good. If you have like good attack here, this, and a bad attack here, that's actually fine, because this guy is like retarded. So Dark Irregular is pretty fun. Sorry, man, 6 out of 10. You're not that good. Now, Trailing Rose. Now, this beautiful lady, is from Neo Nectar. Now, Neo Nectar has a unique growth mechanic, which is when you hit, you evolve. So that's pretty unique, as I like to... Like, there's the word unique in every single effing clan, except for Narukami, because they don't really have that much stuff. Actually, no, I have something for Narukami, too. But basically, in Neo Nectar, it's funny how people... that this deck is actually good for a reason that everyone else can do. You can swing for 20k on the rear guards very consistently. Now, if you build your deck around it to do that, it's actually not very hard. Like King of Sword, Queen of Heart, 12k attacker, 8k booster. No, that's really easy. A lot of people have those. And the only raw advantage is Trailing Rose's Persona Blast, which is a very good Persona Blast, because you look top 5. Very good for consistency, if hit, of course. You have a very limited round of advantage, so take advantage of what you can. Neo Nectar, 7 out of 10. Pretty decent. Now, alright, that's what I'm missing. Azure Dragon. Aha. Forgot about you. Let's see, where the hell are you? You're over here. Alright. Come on, come here. Pull me here. Pull me here. Pull me here. Why is it not sleep? Okay, it's sleep. Good. Alright. My bad. So now, moving on. Nova Grappler. What can I say about Nova Grapplers? So, they have unique stand abilities, but overall stands aren't that good, except if you don't get bonus power for doing so. So, overall, Nova Grappler, I know a lot of people like this because it's like a main character clan. One of the very important things that this set can do is get really good 18 rows of 18. So against cross reds, right? You have like an 11k on your Death Army guy. So you swing and stand for 18 again, which is actually very, very good. Now, this may be overlooked because everyone's like, oh my god, if it's not 20k, it's not good enough. Because people are retarded. So, yeah, Nova Grappler's unique stand abilities, but unfortunately it's outdone by many other decks, i.e. Hourkai. So, I stand something. Now, the new whatchamacallit, Pale Moon Vanguard. Every time you trigger check grade 3, you can soul swap. Now, that will give you a full standing row without needing a specific card. Now, it's kind of the same, but that one also gets plus 3k, so it's pretty good. Goku, for example, trigger check grade 3, kill a grade 1. I mean, that's pretty annoying. So, and if I must continue, Sternblau Kruger comparing to things like Overload the End, restanding and attacking. Losing Twin Drive does not lose Twin Drive. Let's see, what else would they have that gets outdone real hard? Yeah, I don't want to rip on these guys for too much, because the deck's kind of cool. I like Gold Ruchal the most, because he's a effing Gundam. But, yeah, Nova Grappler, I give you guys a 7 out of 10. It's kind of actually too much, but to be honest, they're not that bad. Just don't make the cut. Alright, so now on to the more redeeming decks of these formats. So basically, the decks that I just showed, oh my god, I just fanned really poorly because not all these are sleeves. So these guys, they're your, except for TouchKaze. TouchKaze, I'm going to say it's like tier 5,000,000 because it's almost unplayable. GreatNature, not sure yet. But basically all these, they're around tier 2. Kind of tier 2-ish. Around tier 2-ish, yeah. Can't put this guy in tier 1. It's not good enough. Now, it's not going to go at like tier 2 and tier 1. There's still a tier 0, which is uncompetitive, like cannot compete with. So, basically I'm going to go through this right now. This is tier 1s, by the way. Kinda. So, first we have Bermuda Triangle. Now, of course, I don't play this deck, but it has some very, very good cards in it. For example, they have actually a lot of good things. First of all, Lolly Mermaids. I mean, come on. Everyone plays for the Lolly Mermaids. You don't play it because the deck's good. You play it because the deck has Lolly Mermaids, you know. Okay, so the Ride Chain is very good. You get a +5 if you actually get it right. You get the search, you get a draw, you get a draw, and you get a draw. Wait, no. You get a search, you get a draw, and a draw. Shit, am I bad at this game? Like, that's a +3, like, very blatant +3. Draw one card, search for a card. These are very raw, good +1s. Now, they are very counterblast efficient. I mean, I don't think anything costs more than like 1 counterblast, unless it's a bad card. Now, don't go like blah, 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 blah. Alright, and another thing, don't say something like, it's only good if you built it right. Now, I could make that argument saying, Kagerou is the worst deck in the world. My Kagerou deck has 16 stand triggers and 30 grade 3s. I think Kagerou sucks, because I'm retarded. Now, that's, like, basically, I'm saying at their peak of power. So, like, as much as they can get, with all the money, all the resources in the world that you can put into the deck, at their very most potential, like, i.e. Overload the End, and not Blazing Flare Dragon. You know, so please don't be like, I don't think that's right because in my blah blah blah, I play blah 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 and it's bad. Probably because you're bad for playing something like that. Okay, so Bermuda Triangle, back on topic. Very strong Persona Blast actually has a Soul Savior Persona Blast, +5k to 3 different cards. So very good ride train. Lolly Mermaids, counterblast efficient. Has a unique bounce mechanic, actually, so that you bounce stuff and reuse them. It's kind of good, kind of bad, I don't know. It's really in the air about it, so very good deck, actually. I'll give it I'll give it 8 out of 10. Like, definitely 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. It deserves to be in the tier 1 slot, in my opinion, at least. One more thing is, this deck can actually help you build early advantage, which is very good against people who are trying to rush you, because early advantage is kind of hard to get. Next one is going to be Oracle Think Tank, or Oracle Guardians. Now, Oracle Guardians, it's been on the back foot of the main character clans. It has the unique future sight ability, which I like to call it things that can tell your future. Like, say, Tsukiyomi, where you stack your triggers, or simply CEO Amaterasu, where you look at the top card and put it back. You know your future, kind of like that. And it has a cool bind ability, which is applied to Medusa here, or Maiden of Wicked Eyes Uriel, or whatever the hell. So you can take cards out of your opponent's hand. They can't use it for the turn. You got a lot of good draw power. Now, I don't say like draw triggers. Those don't count. Anyone can have draw triggers unless your deck sucks. So, it has very good filtering, especially with things like Tsukiyomi. Draw 4 cards, put 2 to soul. Raw advantage and good filtering. Very good stuff. It's the only deck that has a Silent Tom ability, which is basically saying your opponents can't guard with level 0s. Now, I'm glad that only Oracle Think Tank has that, because that ability is retardedly annoying. Because, you know, but like if you play something like Overload the End, there's no way that Silent Tom is going to be a threat. It's going to be like, attack with a trigger, you need 10k. I'll give you 2 5ks. Easy. So, yeah. Oracles, a little under Bermuda, but still around 8 out of 10. Okay, next deck is actually very surprising now. I'm going to put in Noob Otama. Now, Noob Otama is another ninja clan, given the amazing ability of hand control. Now, if this deck had, like, triggers, generic 8k beaters, all this stuff, full deck, definitely be one of the strongest decks in the game. It has the unique hand control mechanic, as I said before. Now, discarding cards from opponent's hand is very good. The attacks are very unforgiving. You let it attack through, you lose a card and a rear guard. You have to guard all the attacks, or you're going to die to losing all your cards. Now, would you rather lose your rear guard and a card in your hand, or a card in your hand, and that's it, right? It's very threatening rear guards, to be honest. But, due to the fact that it only has 4 cards to the name of the deck, so you have Kagerou, Chigasumi, Stealth Beast, Void Master, and Stealth Beast Dreadmaster. Due to that, you don't actually have much to rely on. You can't say, like, this deck's good because of blah blah blah. I splashed Kagerou, probably not the reason why it's good. But, like, yeah, definitely Noob Otama. If you had a full deck that you could run, I'd give it, like almost 9, like 8.75 out of 10, because it's really, really damn good that you can control someone's hand. So, I can put these guys away. Now the next one I have is Golden Paladins, Gold Paladins, Gurido Paladin, and all that good shit. So, unfortunately, Gold Paladin, similar to Royal Paladin, you get the power from your friends, aka Tomodachi discounts and shit. So, like Azel, you gain plus 1,000 for each of your Tomodachi. I sound like a weeaboo. Anywho, so the strength of this deck is that you get a lot of raw advantage, but at the same time you have a bad advantage because you can't control what advantage you're actually getting. Garmal is the only case where you can actually choose something for a deck and play it. Now you can only use that once and forever. And forever after, it won't be a +1. It'll be a break even. Now, you have a lot of sack tutoring where you take the top card of the deck and say, please be a good card. Play it, thank God it was a Sagamore. Or thank God it's a Garmal. Or thank God it was a Gareth. So, yeah. Very strong Vanguard, actually. Very, very consistent on getting good power on the sides and middle. So, it's going to put it at 8.25 out of 10. Now, like, the numbers are going to get, like, smaller and smaller here because there's a lot of the little things actually just push you right through to a different tier. So, yeah. Next we have Spike Brothers. Now, a very unique clan. Has the ability to attack and leave. No other clan has that ability. And I'm trying to find out where it is. Okay. It has very strong attacks, as said by Juggernaut Maximum, Reckless Express, High Speed Bracky. This deck actually has very small amount of advantage, but now basically your advantage comes in the power of your cards. So it doesn't have any raw advantage cards. Basically you have Devil Summoner, and that's all the raw advantage you actually get. I'm pretty sure that's it, because everything else is a break even. Now, you have a crazy fast rush down. A lot of turn 3-4 kills very consistently. The table's shaking because I was scratching my arm. You had the strongest starting Vanguard, of course. The Mecha Trainer, so very good. So, Dudley Emperor deals a lot of damage, rushes real hard. Very strong deck. Mainly advantage comes from the fact that you're attacking so much and they'll die real soon. So, and basically you're taking advantage of your opponents who aren't ready to fight yet. Basically they need to take time, get to grade 3, cross ride, +1, go slow. And these decks don't let you do that. So, very strong deck, 8.5 out of 10. Now we have Narukami, one of the weaker tier ones, but still very good. Has the ability to control the field, similar to Kagerou, but not nearly as good, because it's basically a copy of Kagerou, but, you know, with a lot less cool things. Vermilion Kaiser actually has very exceptional strength, as in you can control their front row, which is very different for, like, a dragon clan. Like, dragons never been able to do that. They only pick off, like, the things in the back, the weak things. But now, Vermilion Kaiser comes out, and he's like, I kill all your front row, which is pretty amazing. It has a nerf version of Kagerou's field advantage and field presence, but overall it's pretty good. It has the Desert Gunner mechanics, where you can't intercept, but it's pretty weak overall. It's just a little gimmick that you can do. So, Narukami, 8 out of 10. Good deck. Now we move on to the top 3. Now, I wonder who they could be. So first off, I'm going to start with Kagerou, because Kagerou P. Alright, so you have retarded field presence. I mean, just by playing this card, your opponent's already thinking, I'm going to lose, because this card's retarded. You can control their field, along with destroy their field. Now, you can snipe out things in front, in the back, anywhere, not in the hand, because that's OP. Now, raw advantage card comes something like this. Raw advantage. You attack, draw 4 cards. Most powerful level 3 in the game, definitely. Overload the end. Probably unmatched. Starts with Conroe. Very strong. Very strong. Searches for a card that you might need. A perfect guard. An 8k booster. A Kimnara. A Heat Nail Salamander to control the field. Converts Counterblast into Raw Advantage, Berserk Dragon, Overload the End, countless other things. You can kill their field. That's one of the most important things. So many good things about this deck that it's stupid. You can reach strong attacks on the side too. Go for 21, 20, anything. Like, basically, if someone can do it, you can do it too. That's why Kagerou, undoubtedly 10 out of 10, strongest deck in the game. Gotta say that right now. Next one, we have Shadow Paladins. Now, I don't have a Final Blaster Overlord, so this will have to do. Shadow Paladins... Actually, no, I'll go in order. Royal Paladins, specifically Majesty Lord Blaster. Now, I'm trying to scroll to find out where R comes in the alphabet. And apparently it comes after, like, N or something. Or yeah, it comes at a P, apparently. So, Royal Paladins, very good. Strong attacks in the front and the sides. Palamedes, Majesty, Moron, Snowgall, etc. Very easy raw advantage engines. Alfred, Akane, Blaster Blade, a lot of good cards that you can get. Easy advantage. It's like for easy, like Palamedes easy. I exist, therefore I get a +1. They have the rare +1 crit Vanguards, which is this guy. Okay, and when I say +1 crit Vanguards, I mean the ones that are actually good. Indra is definitely not good. It has +1 crit and that's it. This is +1 crit and 2k. And, Dimensional Police, they have +4k and crit 1, which is very good. Now, a very strong 12k Vanguard on both turns, especially and for big mentions to Overload the End, your 13k is retarded. Even without it, you're still a retarded card. Okay, anywho, so, very strong. It's hard to actually skip grades with this deck because of all the tutoring you can do at early levels. You can tutor your level 2, you can tutor like level 3, Tutor basically means get a card from your deck to your hand. Now, this deck really fits the bill. Very strong in attack, good on defense because of the 12k, good attacks all around, front row, back row, middle, center, you know, all that good stuff. Very strong, 9.5 out of 10 for this deck. Now, lastly, we have Shadow Paladins. Now, Shadow Paladins, not as strong as Royal Paladins. They have the quickest cross-ride, though, which is the most redeeming factor. You can go Matcha into Pain Painter into Soul Charge, your Phantom Blaster Dragon, ride Phantom Blaster Overlord. There you have a 13k on turn 3 consistently, because Matcha is a +1. It's also very good for searching on specific cards. So is Skull Witch in the main, raw +1, ditch a card, draw 2 cards. Very easy stuff, you know. And they have the strong side attacks with things like Void Knight or, you know, Void Knight, because that's the only thing they actually have. But, like, basically, it's very, very strong. The ride chain's decent, +1 into break even. Now, that's okay. Now, they have a strong 13k Vanguard, which is probably the only reason why it's actually still good. If they don't, it probably sucks ass. And by sucks ass, I mean it's tier 1. Because there's no way that... it almost can't compete with these two guys. But it can, because that's the quickest cross-ride. Now, and a lot of ways to get raw advantage. Now, Counterblast 1, draw 2, ditch 1. Pretty freaking counterblast efficient. Draw 2, ditch 1, +1, you get 1 extra card, and then only costs 1 counterblast. Play 4 in the mains. Play 5 if you could. I'd totally play 5. Now, due to the fact that its Persona Blast sucks, I mean, Counterblast 3, ditch a card, plus 10k +1 crit, that's really pathetic compared to something like Overload the End, where, you know, they're both, like, the main cards of the deck. Even Trailing Rose, in my opinion, has better Persona Blast, because Trailing Rose is actually pretty good. Now, the reason why Shadow Paladins still are deserved in Tier 0 is because of their 13k. Granted that they're the weakest in the Tier 0, I'd only give them a 9 out of 10 at most, because I think there's a car passing, or maybe I'm just shaking a lot, because my desk is really loud and shaky. Anywho, so overall, Shadow Paladins, you guys deserve to be Tier 0 and a 9 out of 10. So I'm going to wrap this up and do a quick review. These 3 guys, Tier 0, nothing to say about that. These decks. These two are kind of up in the air about it, especially this deck, because this is actually just basically saying if they had more support, and that's actually decent. Like, basically generic support, like 10k beaters, 8k beaters, random card that moves back and does nothing, really decent. Really a good deck. So these guys, basically here's your tier 1s, your good but not retardedly OP decks, and here are your semi-mediocre decks, which is, there's a lot of them. I mean, no, you don't deserve to be here. Basically a lot of decks that have very limited advantage engines, but are kind of fun to play, and if you want to play bad decks, then play this deck. So yeah, this is a long video actually. I'm very tired. My throat is very sore. I'm sick. And I'm going to go play Dota. So this is Chan from Different Skill, bringing you a decently made video, and bye!